Okay, in the previous video, we went through and we imported the SLX diagrams. The first diagram we imported became the top-level vehicle architecture, and then we imported the powertrain architecture, which has the driveline, the engine, transmission, and chassis. Next, what we'll do is we'll import the individual models on each one of these components. So we'll go to the chassis and we'll right-click here, and we'll say import and select a model. So we'll do import a model. And these are files that we created previously in an earlier video where we went to the example library and we created the chassis model by taking it out, by taking that subsystem out of the original Simulink diagram and putting it into its own Simulink diagram. So we'll select this diagram and then do an import. That will open the model in Simulink and then do an import on it. What the import is doing is it's going through all the inputs and outputs of the block, looking for those signals and then adding them to a XML file. And then it also, because there is a initialization file, we created M files at the same time. Those have been added also. So you can see the different parameters are in that model. You can see the different signals that are being exchanged with that model. And then you can see the file compatibilities, which it's assigned an initialization file. So then we save this. Now we can go through and do the import on the other model. So we'll do an import driveline. Click open. It'll go through the same process of importing the model. Click OK. And it's the same thing. We have the signal information stored here. There's input signals, there are the output signals, then there are the parameters that are used in the model, and then there's the file compatibilities. And again, it did an automatic import because it saw that those files were in the same folder. So we'll do a save. If we go to the example library, we can see that in driveline, there is indeed an M file here with the SLX. So as we're importing the SLX, it will see this M file and do an import on that also. And it's creating these files. It's creating an A model file and an A init. If I go back to example and look at, say, the next component we'll import, you can see that there's only the SLX and the .m file. So as we're going through and doing an import, it generates the A model files and the A init file, which the user interface uses to understand the input and outputs and parameters of each model. So if we go to import driver, we could go to the driver folder, select the driver and import that. Click OK, and then save. Do an import on the next. So we go to engine, import the engine, click OK and save. And then finally the transmission. So we can do import, select the transmission, open. Click OK, and then save. Okay, for the initialization files, you just want to make sure that they're selected. So the driveline, initialization, driver init is selected, engine is selected, transmission select. To select the file, you would just drag and drop it. Because there's only one file here, it's already selected down here. So I just click OK. So now that has imported all the models and all the M files, and in the next video we'll just run the simulation. One thing I should say is we should save the changes. So let's go save the vehicle and give it a vehicle name. This is just the display name. And then we'll save it and we'll just call it example. And then click OK. And that's done. Okay, in the next video, we'll use this vehicle and run a simulation with it.